So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in colour, it's Mr. Wayne Lovejuice.
The other day our producer Louis had a chat with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithm really aren't that happy. If a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we could text ya whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the track extra.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, John Downs. I'm the director of the Centre for Fortean Zoology, which is, as I hope you all know by now, the English-speaking world's longest-standing, largest, and we like to think the best mystery animal research group. And I've just had a parcel. It's a Saturday afternoon. I would like to show you that my partner in crime, Richard Muirhead, is over there fast asleep, and if you hear noises of a coming down the lane, which I don't know if the microphone will pick up or not, it's Sainsbury's bringing our dinner and other things. And I have a parcel that Graham's has brought me in, so let's do an unboxing or an unpacketing or whatever we're going to call it. I do know what this is, or I think I know what it is. And this is something I've wanted for a long time. It's something I've been waiting for years. And guess what happens? The phone comes on, does a emergency sign. It's something I've been waiting for years. Because when I first read about it, in an interview with Alan Moore, something like, well, my wife was still alive, so it was more than 5 years ago. Him and Steve Moore, who's an old mate of mine, who's now sadly died, were working on something called the Moon and Serpent Bumper Book of Magic. Well, I really, really wanted it. It was more expensive when it finally came out. It was more expensive than I could justify, especially with mortgage rates being so high. But the mortgage rates have come down a bit. And although I said I wasn't going to buy anything else until I moved house, well, a bit like when Miss Guinevere says that she's not going to buy any more stick insects. Rules are made to be broken. And this is a book I have wanted for a very, very long time. Let's have a look inside. How gorgeous. What an absolutely gorgeous, beautifully laid out book. It gives you an introduction to all sorts of things about magic. This is almost like a beautifully laid out magic for dummies. I mean, I'm going to find you a, look at this. Isn't it beautiful? It's what you would expect, because Alan Moore is, of course, best known as a comic book artist, as a comic book author. And he works with some amazing comic book artists, and they're all here. And now the dog's starting to bark. Why? Because the Sainsbury's man's just arrived. But look at that. Isn't that utterly gorgeous? I'm very pleased I got it, and I got it cheaper than it would have been. So, I'm not going to thank anybody apart from Alan Moore for finishing it, and Steve Moore for what he did to write it while he was still alive. I am going to enjoy this book very much. Archie, I'm trying to give a piece to camera about a book on Enochian magic, not having badly behaved little dogs running about. You'll wake up Richard.
Archie, what's mucking about?
He's woken up Richard, who's just woken up, yawned and said, Archie, stop mucking about. It's a lovely bit. Let me just read you what it says on the back. Before I switch the camera off and sit down and read it for myself. Here is the Moon and Serpent Grand Egyptian Theatre of Marvels. We have curiosities to suit your every inclination, demonstrations and displays, unique sensations, and a previously unimagined sexual extremity included in the modest cover fee. You dare not bring your wives, persuade your husbands to remain at home. Beyond these, it doesn't say anything about what to do about your dogs. Beyond these doors, we guarantee admittance to a hidden demi-monde with ritual embellishments unpracticed since the 2nd century. There's mountebanks and fiery worms and roses made of time in grand array. Step right this way, step right this way. Cécile La Favorite performs her celebrated dance, removing first her clothing, then her body to a musical accompaniment provided by Chris Rosencrantz and his Atlantis Playboys. This is one you must not miss. Tell all your friends, tell your enemies, tell all the people you do not know. The Moon and Serpent Grand Egyptian Theatre of Marvels open now for your inspection. Step right up and see the show. See the show. At 9 and at 11, the immortal serpent manifests itself for your delight and your edification. Patrons of a nervous disposition may experience a roaring in the ears or a dislocation of the temporal lobe, for which the Moon and Serpent Grand Egyptian Theatre of Marvels is not legally responsible. We'll give you pennies for your eyes, primeval drugs, constructive lies, and when the candles flare and shake in shining rooms, we'll wake the snake. Wake the snake, being for adults only. Well, I think it's utterly gorgeous. I'm very much looking forward to reading it. All I know about magic comes from my long-standing relationship with the late great wizard of the Western world, Tony Shields. He asked me once if I wanted to be his apprentice, and Karina never forgave me when I said no. I don't want to be a wizard. I don't want to be a magician. I know a little bit about magic. I've even done a little bit of magic. Magic runs in my family. And this book is going to tell me an awful lot more, probably far more than I either want to or need to know about the subject. And I'm very glad that I have it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a very, very quick introduction to today's post bag. Oh, I like having post that arrives, except when dogs bark. And I have no idea where I'm going to put this book. It's an absolute doorstop of a book. But it looks utterly gorgeous, and I'm very, very much looking forward to reading it. Well, that's not all we have for you in this episode. You may remember a few weeks ago we gave you an excerpt from the show that Viv, Dan and I do on Wednesday evenings on the Simply Spooky Network. Well, here is another excerpt from the same show showing what happens after dear Simon Johansen threw a conversational log on the fire about the monster of Loch Morar, and we went off onto some tangents talking about lake monsters. Enjoy.
Speaking of folklore, today I learned via Dr. Polaris YouTube video about Morag that Morag was originally described as a mermaid banshee type entity rather than a plesiosaur. Did not know that.
No. And for those of you who don't know,
Thanks,
Morag
Simon.
is the monster, is the name given to the monster that's been reported from Loch Morar in Scotland.
I did not know that. That's quite intriguing.
Do you know
Thanks
what?
for that, Simon. Simon, you really are fond of knowledge.
Simon,
we need to get Simon on the show.
We must. You must come on, Simon, and chat with us.
Simon, do you want to come on the show one time?
Yeah, definitely. It'd be lovely to have a chat with you.
I'm interested in, I don't know what you call them, but
Sex?
he might know.
Hand jobs?
Rock monsters. You know, the ones that come out of them, they're actually made of stone and come out
like
of
trolls?
The actual rock. Stone men.
That's like trolls, isn't it? They're like sort of Norwegian and Swedish folklore.
Hi, Laura.
I'm part. I've got Icelandic DNA in me.
I don't want to know.
Old Morag accounts as half human, half fish, either a pretty young lady or an old hag who only appears to people who are about to die. That's interesting. I never knew. See, thanks, Simon. I didn't even know that. Hi, Laura.
On the show.
Good to see you. Hello from the UK to Canada. Throughout the 20th century, as Nessie started being recoined to a plesiosaur type creature, same thing started happening to Morag. That's interesting.
Have you seen the news that has been fairly recently that nobody these days who actually reports seeing a monster in Loch Ness sees a long neck at the neck? They all see the big upturned boat thing. They see the hump, but they
but not the neck.
They don't see a string of humps, and they don't see that head and neck.
That's interesting.
His name was the Reverend Dr. Donald Omond, and he died about 20 years ago in an old people's home just down the road from where I lived at the time.
Ah.
Fascinating man. His book is well worth reading.
I wonder what he... Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Oh, he was in his 90s when he died. He was a very old man.
You'll have to send me the name of his book if you can remember it, Jonathan. I might get that. Or look for a copy at least.
Do you know what? They're seeing this hump thing. I mean, the pictures that
one is necking.
But the thing is because like the hump thing that's been reported to be seen is a stone. It's a big stone.
What's that?
Because we had the end of the month show, and there was what's his name? He pulled the pictures up of the
Ian.
And Ian showed us these pictures, and as much as I would love them to be Nessie, they're not. It's actually part of the loch.
They look like what they are, don't they? Look like rocks.
I mean, if people want to believe that that's Nessie, then that's up to them. But I personally believe that was a stone.
I think they had a sighting earlier on in the year, didn't they? It might have even been late last year now, I think. Can't remember because time goes so quick now. But they had a sighting, and it was close to the shore, and they took some photos from above, and it was quite a sort of graphic dark outline in the water that looked almost like an animal. And then they sent divers down, and the divers said, we're going to be a shoal of fish. And what they do is they create these bubbles, and these bubbles come up and they create that shadow. And I'm thinking, well, I've never heard that before. And it sounds like you're trying to find an excuse to fit what actually happened. Not that there is anything there.
But people forget, like, our shores, our waters have heated, and all around the British Isles, they are a lot warmer than what they were. And it was on the news today how warm our waters are. No different for Loch Ness. No. And because that has access and channels into the sea...
Goes into the ocean, doesn't it?
We can expect to see all sorts of sites coming into Loch Ness now and all around our oceans. In the Forth River, they had orcas. Last month, didn't they? Robert, so we're going to have all sorts of unusual animals in unusual places.
And that's about it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoy it. And I'm going to be back on Saturday. What am I talking about on Saturday? I have absolutely no idea because I've completely lost track of where I am. This is being recorded in the middle of July when Richard Muirhead is here for a few days, and I'm taking advantage of that to do all sorts of bits of recording with him, and other things have happened in the middle. But I will be here on Saturday. You'll be here on Saturday. We'll all be here on Saturday, and if so, I will most certainly be seeing you.